What's up, A to Z Sports Titan Game Day Live? What's up, A to Z Sports Titan Game Day Live? The post-game show after the Titans are victorious again for the fourth time at Nissan Stadium this season. Undefeated in the building right there behind us. I'm Austin Stanley with Jack Gentry. We're live here at the rooftop of Acme Feed and Seed. With shout out to our great friends at Spirited Hive and at Ranch Water for game day specials for all Titans home games this season at the rooftop and in the entire facility here at Acme Feed and Seed. Titans win 17-10. No points scored by the Titans in the second half. So my prediction of 30 points in a bingo did not happen, but another win at home, breaking a 3-game losing streak. A lot to discuss here in a battle versus the team that is the worst team in the NFL. The Carolina Panthers still just one win on the season, but the Titans defense suffocates Bryce Young, the number 1 overall pick. Will Levis gets the job done. Derrick Henry runs for 2 touchdowns. And the Titans now are 4-7 with the Indianapolis Colts coming to Nashville a week from today. Jack, I'll let you get things started. Tell the people what they got to do before we officially dive in here.
Titans win again at home to keep the vibes rolling. Let's like the show as everyone files in. I know everyone's got a lot to say today. Kind of both sides of the fence Titans fans are going to be on, I expect, in this post-game show. But that doesn't matter. Like the show when you come in here. Share the show when you come in here. If you're watching on Facebook, share it to your Titans groups. If you're watching on YouTube, turn your notifications on by tapping the bell icon at the top of your screen so you get a notification every time A to Z Sports goes live. You don't want to miss it. You want to be the first in the comments section like Lou Man was today. If you're watching on Twitch, make sure to text that Twitch link to your Titans text groups as well as your family members. Any Titans fans you know, bring them on in. Let's talk about a Titans win today, Austin. It was a close one, but they got it done.
It was. Let's get it going officially. Welcome to Titan Game Day Live, the Amanda J. Gentry post-game show presented by our friends at the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry. Do want to give a quick shout out here to all of our great Titan Game Day Live partners throughout the season. X Golf Nashville, the home of indoor golf in Middle Tennessee, the Mint Gaming Hall, BetMGM, the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry, Chim Chimney for all your chimney needs, Adventure Science Center, and Jarrett HVAC and Plumbing. We're live here from Acme Feed and Seed. Again, Ranch Water and Spirited Hive game day specials here throughout every home game this year. The Titans are 4-7, Jack. They're 4-0 in Nissan Stadium, 0-7 everywhere else. And they got just enough offense today to get it done. 17-10, the final score. Where do you want to take it here? Because I think 17-3 at halftime, vibes were high. I was talking about 30 points, scoring 2 touchdowns in the second half, hitting our Mint Gaming bingo card, but that didn't happen. All punts and kneel downs for the Titans offense in the second half. Bryce Young had some good moments, led him on a scoring drive to start the third quarter, but couldn't do enough. So where do you want to take this immediate post-game reaction?
Well, I think, Titans fans, I understand wanting to lose for a draft pick and everything, but it's hard not to celebrate a win, especially after the football that the Titans have kind of played over the last year. It's hard not to be happy with the win. Sure, there were plenty of things that went wrong. Yeah. But in my opinion, it was the offense who converted at the end of the half in the first half and, strung a couple drives together. Levis was not on his A game in the second half, but Big Jeff and Danico Autry and Arden Key were. I mean, the defense absolutely stood up and saved the Titans' bacon today against the Panthers team that was looking dangerous at times. Bryce Young, his escapability came back to bite the Titans often. The Panthers were able to run the ball better than the Titans were today. I don't think a lot of people had that on their bingo card heading in. But, it's a gritty win. It felt old school, and it's starting to get a little colder, starting to get a little tougher to tackle Derrick Henry in the fourth quarter. We saw glimpses of that today. Yeah. But that second half, while it wasn't pretty, it was ugly. I think it felt old school in the way that they were able to kind of salt away the win with a couple of first downs, with a couple of stops on defense, and a huge sack when you had to have it as the Panthers were driving to try and tie the game late.
Yeah, I just see Caleb says Vrabel hates points. I mean, I think they wish they could create points. I think they wish they could score. Tim Kelly had some good moments in the second half, then some moments I'm like, stop running the Derrick Henry screen. Everybody knows it's going to happen. Then the next play, DeAndre Hopkins looks like he's wide open for like a 60-yard touchdown, but Will Levis just doesn't see him. Looks like he had the time but missed him. And so there's frustrations when watching this team because you're thinking, there's so many opportunities that they're missing out on and a chance to blow out an opponent, an inferior opponent who's not very good, but they let them hang around. But I'm going to go back to a big-time moment, Jack. Right before half. I mean, it's 17-10 is very different than 14-10.
True.
And if they don't get that execution with the last 12 to 15 seconds of the first half down where Levis hits NWI for a big gain down the middle, get up, spike it with 3 seconds left, and Nick Folk hits a 53-yard field goal, it's a very different feel to that game to where Bryce Young had a couple chances to put a drive together to tie with a touchdown. But without that execution by Will Levis, NWI, the offense as a whole, and Folk making the kick, then that's a very different fourth quarter situation.
Yeah, Chris Moore, DeAndre Hopkins, NWI all made plays for the Titans today. And on the defense, it's kind of the same weakness that you see every week. Christian Fulton in the wrong spot at the wrong time every time. I think at least 3 penalties were called on him. He hated them all. They were all probably flags. It's up and down, right? They were playing complimentary football in the first half, and that changed. Well, the defense still can hold their weight, and they were able to come away with a couple of huge stops. I'll read off a couple of stats.
Yeah.
Danico Autry and Jeffrey Simmons had 9 tackles today combined, 6 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, and they hit Bryce Young 3 times.
Just those two guys.
Those 2 players won the Titans that football game.
Arden Key really good too, because I just mentioned the end of half sequence to get those 3 points. The Titans only scored 1 touchdown sustaining a drive. Because Arden Key gets a sack fumble on Bryce Young. You start in the red zone. Derrick Henry has 2 carries and a touchdown there to make it 14-3. So, look, I think the defense deserves a ton of credit for how they played today. They did, allow the 1 touchdown drive in the third quarter for the Carolina Panthers to get back in this game. But, Jack, let's go ahead and get to it. We do this to start every post-game show here on our Titan Game Day Live post-game show presented by our friends at the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry. Let's ask our one-word question. What's one word to describe the Titans' win today over Carolina? What's one word to describe the Titans' win today over the Carolina Panthers? 17-10 was the final score. But first, let me tell you guys about the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry. Her team, they attack whatever your case is with as much passion as Jeffrey Simmons has getting after a quarterback on Sundays. Wherever justice demands, that's where the team of Amanda J. Gentry will go for you. They practice in Tennessee family and criminal courts in over 35 counties in Middle Tennessee. Fathers' rights are very important to Amanda J. Gentry and her team, protecting your fundamental rights and constitutional rights to be a father to your children. So whatever your situation may be, the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry, they will protect you, fight for you. Law offices of Amanda J. Gentry at AmandaJGentry.com. So, Jack, I'll send it to you in the chat, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. One word to describe the Titans' win today over the Panthers.
Young Baller starts us off appropriately with ugly. Will Dodson says Panthers. Bork says yay. Is this a good thing? John says Autry. Michael, miracle. We got barely from Assad. Mediocre from Will. Draining from Marvin. This was an emotionally draining game.
Yeah.
Took everything out of you just watching that football game. Unacceptable from Mr. Jones. Meaningless from Darren Lee. Precarious, nice word from Justin. Barely from Kendrell, another barely. Meh from Eric. Simmons from Xavier. Barely from David. Meh from James. A lot of barely and mehs. Excuse me as I cross my words up. Anthony Ham says lucky. Meaningless from Major Keys. Lackluster from Arthur. Needed from Scott. DeMario says defense. Austin, it's tough for me to use one word because I really wanted to use a double, 2 words. I wanted to say baby steps, but I'm going to say struggle.
What about crawl?
Crawl. I like crawl.
Because, the baby steps, you crawl before you walk, before you run.
But I want to use struggle today though, because the Titans, even when they're playing teams like the Panthers, make it look a little harder than it should.
Sure.
They left the Panthers in too long. They only had they probably had less than 100 yards in the second half. I mean, that's not enough to put teams away, and you got to be able to put bad teams like the Panthers away. They kept them in the game for too long. If they play a quarterback with any experience, Bryce Young's a rookie and he's got some upside. The Titans saw a little bit of that today.
Mm-hmm.
But if they play a top 20 quarterback in this league today, they probably lose this football game.
Oh, for sure.
So it was a struggle. It's still got to look cleaner. It's still got to feel better on offense. And, I I understand playing it safe late in the game on 3rd and long, but I want to see them go for the kill shot. They still haven't gone for the jugular like that in a football game. I'm waiting to see Tim Kelly make that adjustment moving forward, after he's gained more trust in Levis, hopefully.
I think there's no reason to not trust Will Levis to make some plays. Like, obviously, he's going to make some rookie mistakes. He almost made a couple today. But you mentioned it felt like the Titans offense barely or didn't even have 100 yards of offense in the second half. Jack, they had 97 after the 3 yards lost by the Kneels. They were sitting at an even 100 in the second half before the kneel downs in victory formation to win the game. So I think your overall point, you're dead on with that. It's a win that it started off so energetic and it felt good. The offense was putting some things together. You saw the 91-yard drive that took 9.5 minutes off the clock in that first quarter. And you're like, okay, there's opportunity here to build on this, but they couldn't do it. Like, they could not sustain a drive beyond that 91-yard drive that was longer than 31 yards. Isn't that crazy?
The Titans sure know how to kill a buzz. They're the water in between your drinks, right? Every drink you should have a water. The Titans are the water in between your drinks. They don't let you get too high. They're certainly not going to, well, they will let you get too low. But they can't seem to do two things in a row that are right. Like, even after a great first half, and there were still some plays they left out there.
I mean, they were trading waters and drinks, the whole, like, waters and
Up
Spirited
and
High, water and ranch water. Like, they went like this, like punt, score, punt, score, punt, score. That was the first half, rotating. Then just punt, kneel down, game over. I
want to be happy drunk on the Titans. They're not letting me get there. They're making me chug all this water. I'm losing my buzz in the second half today.
That's exactly what happened. So that was your one word. My one word, Jack, I'm going to throw back because today did feel like a throwback, but not too far back. I'm going to throw back to I think it was the 2021 season. My one word is monsters. Not the tickle monsters, but the monsters were active today because Danico Autry, Jeffrey Simmons, Arden Key, Harold Landry, those four guys together won the football game. Without them wreaking havoc, there's 4 sacks on Bryce Young, all 4 by Autry, Key, and Simmons with the forced fumble that led to the game-winning touchdown. Harold Landry was very active, drew a penalty, a holding call on an offensive lineman for the Panthers. He was active, just making Bryce Young run around, scramble, throw the ball away quite a bit. I mean, Bryce Young was 18 of 31. I would argue that probably half of his 6 or 7 of his 13 incompletions were thrown into the sidelines or into the dirt because the front monsters were making Bryce Young uncomfortable. He did run the ball fairly well, 23 yards 3 times.
Didn't kill him, though.
No, he didn't. But I think that's my one word is monsters. This is what we expected those 4 guys to be consistently. All it took was the worst team in the league to come to town at home for them to show what they are.
Yeah, I still want them to break through that 20-point ceiling. We got ahead of ourselves at halftime, and we were calling for 30.
Yeah.
Because the offense was moving like they could score 30. If they had more time, they probably would have punched it in at the end of the second half. But time ran out, obviously. You take your 3, and look where you wind up. You're in the win column. It's a big win for the Titans culture. Inside that locker room, there's a lot of guys that are probably doubting themselves heading into this game. With the Vrabel thing coming out this week that he's going to be here, I think that brought everyone together, if only for a week, and got everybody to pull in the right direction. Just focus on the Panthers. Don't worry about the noise that's surrounding you. They did a great job of blocking everything out, honing in the first half, and really executing the offensive game plan. And then the defense did enough in the second half to keep you afloat. Yeah,
I'm looking at the team stats right now. The problem is the Titans defense gave the Panthers 4 first downs on penalties. Now, a couple of those might have been ticky-tacky. A couple of those are on Christian Fulton. But that one touchdown drive the Panthers had the entire game was because twice they got bailed out on a 3rd down non-conversion. The Titans defense gets a stop, but a penalty extends that drive, and they go down there and make the Titans pay. That's a problem. The Titans cannot be penalized 8 times against anybody, and it almost cost them against the worst team in the league.
They're not good enough to overcome that.
No.
And we were sitting here talking during the game, just a little peek behind the curtains for you guys. Austin said Christian Fulton just needs to practice with his hands in his pocket.
Yeah.
He's grabbing everybody. The holding penalties really almost killed the Titans today.
I've been trying to come up with the football equivalent of basketball practice without the basketball. It's cut, screen, move, or no dribbling, right? Like it's the no dribble rule in basketball practice that every coach does in middle school to make you do the fundamentals the right way. Christian Fulton needs to put his hands in his pockets and let his feet cover and see what happens because he's in the right spot a lot of times. He just throws his hands out there and starts grabbing people, and then he gets penalized, and the Titans give up more yards and more plays.
And there are plays where 95% of his job is done well on a given play. But that 5%, he'll just give a little extra push. Don't need to do that. It's a backbreaker for a Titans offense, for a Titans offense who can't overcome, penalty-led scoring drives by the opponent. And the Titans, the only touchdown that the Titans gave up today, it was helped out by a ton of penalties. They dinked and dunked their way down the field based on Titans' defensive penalties. And, if that had propped up again and the Panthers had scored another touchdown, who knows where we'd be? We'd probably still be playing football right now. But thankfully, the defense got it straightened out. The offense did just enough. Stonehouse deserves a game ball today, I believe.
Yeah, I'm going to go look at Ryan Stonehouse's numbers from today. Ryan Stonehouse punted 7 times.
That's a lot of punts.
But he averaged Ryan Stonehouse outgained everybody else in the entire game. 376 yards punting, almost 54 yards a punt, 5 of them inside the 20-yard line with a long of 71.
That's why he's the GOAT.
Incredible.
He's the best in the league. What a weapon for a team that can't score. If you can't score, win the field position battle. Ryan Stonehouse gives you an edge in that department every single Sunday.
Yeah, no doubt. A to Z Sports here live at Acme Feed and Seed. Jack, let's revisit our X Factor from the pregame show and see how right or wrong we were about it. But first, the X Golf X Factor is what we do every pregame show. And X Golf is Nashville and Middle Tennessee's new destination for indoor golf. They've got a great opportunity for you. They're located in West Nashville, a great spot for your holiday and business and corporate events and parties there. So go check out xgolfnashville.com for your corporate and business holiday events this season. xgolfnashville.com. Also gift cards for that stocking stuffer. Great time for everybody at X Golf in Nashville. So, Jack, my X factor was Jalen Duncan and kind of Dylan Radins. If Jalen Duncan and Dylan Radins can give you something over the next 7 games, I think the Titans are in an okay spot for at least offensive line depth moving forward. If Jalen Duncan can prove to be a somewhat reliable left tackle for you, finding a left tackle that can start and has at least starting potential in the 6th round is damn near a lottery ticket for an NFL franchise. How do you think Jalen Duncan played today? I mean, he wasn't super noticeable, though.
No. It wasn't the best game I've ever seen a left tackle play for the Tennessee Titans, but his job was just to hold the wall, hold the door. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, hold the door. He did that. I think, a pre-snap penalty stunk, and it was costly. On a 3rd and 6, it turned into a 3rd 11.
Yep.
The Titans run a give-up screen called to Tajay Spears there, end up punting the football away. But he wasn't a glaring weakness like we've seen Andre Dillard be. Like, Will Levis's life wasn't in jeopardy today.
No.
It didn't feel that way, at least. Sure, there was some pressure. And sure, Derrick Henry got hit in the backfield a few times. It's not going to be perfect, but we're not asking for perfect. We're asking for competence. And I thought the offensive line was competent today.
Yeah, I agree. Only 1 sack from Levis, and it lost 1 yard, and that was when Brian Burns got around Dylan Radins. I think from the don't do dumb stuff to hurt the football team comparison, Dylan Radins did more dumb stuff to hurt the football team than Jalen Duncan did. Yeah. Dylan Radins gave up the sack and also gave up I guess Levis was sacked twice today. Why are they not? Oh, maybe that was I don't know. There was a sack that Radins gave up. Maybe I'm misremembering something. I thought he gave up a sack and then a false start and back-to-back snap, but ESPN.com doesn't have a second sack registered on Will Levis. But I thought Dylan Radins continues to have so many issues with false start duty. But, I think Jalen Duncan was fine. Passable grade for his first start.
Yeah, I agree. It was better than I thought it would be. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
it was better than I thought it would be. It wasn't perfect, but Levis didn't die today. And
He did not.
And for that, I'm thankful.
All right, so Jack, your Golf X factor in the pregame show this morning was winning the turnover battle.
What do you know? The Titans finally did it in a winning effort. First time they've won the turnover battle since that loss on September 24th against the Cleveland Browns. And it was a huge turnover. It set the Titans offense up on the doorstep, and they go in and punch it in for 6. That's the difference in the football game, Austin.
Sure.
That I believe that was the last time the Titans scored outside of the field goal.
The field goal, yeah.
So,
but,
I mean, it was absolutely the difference in the ball game today.
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, like they don't have another touchdown drive without it. Like they don't. Like that's what I mentioned. It's the 91-yard drive in the first quarter was the only drive the Titans had over 31 yards. And they had to have the 2-play 15-yard drive to score another touchdown off of the turnover. So a big deal there for the Tennessee Titans to get a win to get to 4-7. Let's go ahead and get to our quarterback grades because I'm curious at how this is going to go because Will Levis did not exactly play the most exciting game in his 5 starts in the NFL. I'll read the stats before we get to Will Levis's grades. We always grade Titans quarterback in our postgame show. Levis officially was 18 of 28 for 185. That's just an average of 6.6 yards per attempt. No touchdowns, no picks. Sacked just the one time. I thought there was a second sack in there, but maybe I'm crazy. And then he took the 3 kneel down, so he had -3 rushing yards. So how do you grade quarterback Will Levis today? How do you grade quarterback Will Levis? First, let me tell you guys about Chim Chimney. They should be the experts you turn to for all of your chimney needs. Jack, I'm turning to Chim Chimney because I'm exhausted because we moved on Friday. And so Chim Chimney's coming out to the new house this upcoming week to check out, make sure our new fireplace, our new chimney, everything's looking good for the new house. And Chim Chimney's been very easy to work with. A little back and forth on email, find the right date, find the right time that works for everybody. And Chim Chimney's going to be checking out my new place and making sure that we are ready to go this winter for all of our chimney and fireplace needs. And they can do the same thing for you. They've serviced Middle Tennessee for a long time, decades of experience with all of their technicians. So chim-chimneyinc.com is where to go for all of your chimney and the dryer vents. The most dangerous thing that you forget about in your house. Maybe you don't have a fireplace. Make sure the dryer vents are okay with chim-chimneyinc.com. So Jack, I'll send you the chat. How is Will Levis being graded by the chat today?
Steven and Dime both start us off with C's over on YouTube. Darren's at a D. R is at a C-, B- from John, B from T. Shannon, B from Daniel, B- from Demario, B from Dave Lawrence, B- from Ron, C from Johnny, C- from Jody, B- from Destin. We're kind of in that BC range, Austin.
Yeah.
Young Baller checks in at C-. David Heath, B- from Kaz, D from Mr. Jones, C- from Amanda, C from Nate's Burner, C- from Young Baller. Let's see, C from Scott. JR says C+. Roy says C. Jacob Ray says C+. Walter says C. Austin, how do you grade Will Levis's performance today?
Is it weird that I think this might be his second worst performance?
All right, so
I think he was obviously the Falcons is number 1.
Yes.
Steelers is probably number 2. Last week versus the Jags.
You think this was better than the Bucs or worse than the Bucs?
No, I think this was worse than the Jags performance.
Okay.
Because I think today he had time.
Yeah, you could grade him today.
Yes. Today he had time against the Jags and the Bucs and the Steelers. He was running for his life. Today he had time and he didn't make enough plays. Like today was maybe one of the first times where I thought, man, he missed that. Or he was off there and there was no reason for it. There was no dude in his face breathing down his neck trying to get after him. He had time to make it. He just made an inaccurate throw or he missed the right read or he made a bad decision that almost got picked.
He looked like a rookie.
Absolutely. So I think C-.
Okay.
I think C, it wasn't awful.
No.
But he didn't do a lot to elevate his team. He was fantastic on the touchdown drive. And in the first half, he went through a stretch where he hit 10 consecutive passes through that one stretch, and then the play right before the field goal, great. But after that, he was a non-factor and maybe even a net negative in the second half. He was 5 of 10, could have thrown a couple picks, missed on D-Hop twice. I'm going to say C- for Levis.
This is a tough.
I was not impressed. Sorry.
This is a tough grade. I mean, it is. Like, he had a solid first. Like, if you graded his first half, I probably would have given him a B+. Right? No touchdowns, no turnovers, but he ran that 35-second drill nicely.
Yeah.
He led the Titans on a 91-yard drive for 9 minutes. It's the longest drive of the Titans season up to this point. But in the second half, he disappeared. He had a chance, and I've been calling for the kill shot for weeks from the Titans offense, right? He had D-Hop on a kill shot route.
Yep.
Didn't throw it his way. And he missed him on that crosser over the middle. It was kind of a deep middle throw. It was just behind D-Hop a tick. He was 13 of 18 in the first half passing. Second half, just 5 of 10.
Yeah.
And I don't really remember him hitting on a big play in the second half.
There was
maybe Chris Moore.
The second half had very similar drives. It was a nice play early to get one first down on a nice little chunk, and then you stalled out and punted because they had drives of 27, 25, 19, 31. And that was basically it in the second half. And so, one nice play got them, I guess, the 31-yard drive where they really had a chance to end the game and go up and score to make it over, nail in the coffin type. That's where he missed. I want to say he missed on, I guess, on D-Hop for that game breaker.
Yeah.
And he was inaccurate a couple other times. So what was your official grade?
It's not an honor roll performance. It's not a failing performance. I give him a flat C. I want to see more. At this point, I want to stop grading him like a rookie and grade him like an actual quarterback who has experience because he's settling into that role. It's clear the Titans trust him to do a little more than they did initially when he got to start. At least what we saw or how we saw them use Levis against the Steelers in that second start. So I give him a C today. I need a touchdown pass. It's a winning effort, which is good. That's 2 wins on the season for Levis. Get him some confidence, get him some momentum, but be able to finish drives, be able to finish games. That's that next step. I want to see him be able to put a team away in the second half. Didn't do it today. He gets a C from me.
So Chris Frazier says, get Levis some receivers. I mean, yeah, they need receiver help, but I thought the receivers were good today. Was there a drop? No. Chig caught everything thrown to him that was catchable. D-Hop made some plays.
NWI made a couple really nice
NWI made some really nice grabs. Josh Wiley had a really nice catch. There just wasn't a lot of opportunity outside of, what was easily catchable. There was I had no complaints from the receiving corps today. They were not the problem.
No. There was one chance where he had Chris Moore, kind of double coverage.
Tough
ball
deep
to throw
shot,
on the left side.
It was thrown out of bounds.
Yeah.
It was 3rd and 4 or 5 or something. And they took a shot down the field, and Chris Moore.
He beat his initial defender.
Yeah,
and there was safety help over the top.
Yeah, exactly.
I would like to see a veteran probably drop set in between them.
The throw should have been not as far down the field. It should have been more because Chris Moore kind of shut that down.
Yeah. Started looking for the football.
Exactly. I see people saying the Titans need an offensive coordinator. Somebody else I saw a comment said, Roy said, grade the play caller. Like, I think Tim Kelly's not perfect. He's got blemishes, but he's not anywhere near the top 5 problems the Titans have. He's fine. He needs to be better in spots. He needs to stop being married to the Derrick Henry screen because everybody knows it's coming.
Throw it on first down a little more.
Yeah,
Throw it on, like the Derrick Henry running for 1 and 2 yards, which was happening quite often, especially early in the game. I mean, you knew there wasn't a whole lot of room there behind a makeshift offensive line. Let Levis throw it on first down a couple of times. 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9. That doesn't help your quarterback.
I agree. Koss asked Austin, do we win in Carolina? Do the Titans win this game on the road?
Let's get this straight.
We got Panthers fans who say, yeah. You guys win this in our house?
Yeah. The Panthers
I don't know.
field
I
isn't
don't
exactly
think many people
daunting.
are traveling these days. Look, the Titans 0-7 and have lost every game outside of Nissan Stadium. Do I think they would have won in Carolina? Probably.
It would be
been-
close. It would have
probably-
been exactly like
I don't
today.
think anything changed. I don't think the atmosphere in that building behind us had anything to do with today's game. I think it would have been the same thing if they played this game in London, Germany, Carolina, Nashville, or wherever else.
But hey, being home for Thanksgiving weekend is nice for the Titans.
It is nice. It is nice. All right, let's continue to go through our post-game show here presented by the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry. If you are watching on Facebook and YouTube, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, like the show for us. I did see this King VC with a super chat on YouTube. Said the Titans now the 9th pick overall, according to Tankathon. I saw the 8th. I think we're going to have to wait for the rest of the day to kind of play out before you can truly know if the Titans are going to be picking 8th, 9th, 10th, wherever it is. But, we'll continue to follow and monitor the situation there with the Titans draft order. I know the Panthers are not picking number 1. The Bears fans are excited today. But, Jack, let's get to this. How many boxes did the Titans check in Mike Vrabel's winning formula? Mike Vrabel has 3 things to win a game in the NFL. And did they check these boxes? Presented by our friends at Adventure Science Center. Go to Adventure Science Center, adventuresci.org. Family fun, full family, or just the adults can go out and have fun at Adventure Science Center coming up on December 1st, which is this upcoming Friday. Their 21 plus event only is coming up at Adventure Science Center on Friday night. You get your tickets at adventuresci.org. If you want to take the kids, if they're going to be out of school throughout the holiday break coming up, Adventure Science Center, get them out of the house, out of your hair, go do something fun, educational, active, wear them out. The holidays are a great time for that. Also, memberships available during the holiday season as well. So how many boxes did the Titans check today of Mike Vrabel's winning formula? Jack, let's run through it. Did the Titans, we've already went over the turnover battle. They got that one.
Titans 1-0. Finally.
The second time, what was the stat? The second time?
Yes, second time. It's the first time in 2 months. September 24th against the Browns in a blowout loss. They won it, but it didn't really matter. Today, it absolutely factored in.
Rushing yards. So the Titans got 1. Rushing yards. The Carolina Panthers outrushed the Titans today. This is becoming a bad trend for the Tennessee Titans of not – we know the offensive line is terrible, but the Panthers, 96 yards rushing to the Titans, 80. It's not like Chuba Hubbard had a great game. He just had some chunks here and there and some really hard-fought yards in short yardage situations where the Titans defense couldn't get a stop.
Yeah, Miles Sanders also converted on some big-time third downs for the Panthers. It just felt overall much easier for the Panthers to move the football on the ground than it did for the Titans, which shouldn't be the case because the Titans have a stout front four and one of the best running backs in football. The Panthers don't have either of those things, and they ran the ball more effectively than the Titans today. That, I agree, is a concern.
I do think Derrick Henry had his best game in quite some time. Best game since the Bengals. I guess Atlanta, he had 100 yards here in Nashville. So Derrick Henry had 18 carries, 76 yards, 2 touchdowns, had a couple runs late in that second half that really were able to push the Titans forward to continue to burn clock. But I think Derrick Henry did his job. The other thing is Tajay Spears was basically nothing today. He had two carries for 6 yards, 1 catch for 1 yard. Nothing for Tajay Spears when it comes to carrying the football or being a weapon.
It's getting a little colder outside, Austin. Denver is approaching. And Derrick Henry did his best work in the second half today after the defense was worn down. So, you have to be happy about that and hopefully what it can turn into moving forward this year.
Panthers fans making some noise.
Panthers fans are fired up about the loss today.
Panthers fans taking over Acme up here. Yeah, we have some Titans fans in here still hanging out here live at Acme Rooftop. Spirited Hive in Ranchwater, they have game day special, so check that out if you're here at Acme. Spirited Hive cocktails and Ranchwater bucket specials for all Titans home games right here. So, Jack, let's take our look around the league and wrap things up here from Acme. Let's look at the draft order and what went right for the Titans today, what went wrong. Also, the upcoming opponent had a nice little victory today. But first, Jarrett HVAC and Plumbing. JarrettCompanies.com is where to go find all of their services. They can take care of you, full service HVAC plumbing from installation to repairs. Jarrett Companies handles it all. Skilled technicians, certified experience, and ready to tackle any challenge for you. It's very important, especially this time of year. Nashville weather all over the place. Preventative maintenance for Jarrett HVAC and plumbing for all of your units. They offer plans to keep it running smoothly year-round. Low cost because Jarrett is locally owned and operated. JarrettCompanies.com. So, Jack, somebody mentioned the 9th pick for Tankathon. I'm going to do a little refresh on Tankathon real quick to see where the Tennessee Titans fall to, because now at 4-7, there was a log jam at 4-win teams, which the Titans are now a part of. So Tankathon has the 9th pick. The Jets, the Bucks are above the Titans. The Giants and Commanders above the Titans as well. So right there, Carolina, New England, and Arizona are the top 3 worst teams, and the Bears currently set to pick 1st and 4th. So the Titans drop a couple spots after a win today. But look, the Colts had a big win today. The Colts beat the Bucks, and the Colts come to town next week. And that could be a spot where if the Colts can continue to win, the Titans now go back, and you're starting to look at that draft a little bit more favorably for Tennessee.
Absolutely. A couple games going on right now. Titans fans should be supporting the Arizona Cardinals, who have a 1-point lead over the Rams.
Okay.
As well as the Las Vegas Raiders. As well as the yes.
No, I think
the
Titans want the Rams to win.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, sorry, I had that backwards. Titans want the Rams to win. The Titans want the Raiders to win. 7-0 lead on Kansas City right now. So a couple games to keep an eye on if you're a Titans fan wanting a top pick.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm looking at other, like the Bucks. The Bucks losing was a bummer. You would have liked the Bucks to beat the Colts, and the Giants. Actually, the Giants winning was probably good.
Yeah,
right.
I would agree.
The Giants winning was good because now you're even with the Giants. So you got some good breaks overall with how the draft order is going to stack up. But the Titans have winnable games and losable games on the schedule coming up. So we'll see how all that goes. But Jack, any last words for our post-game show here today as the Titans victorious for the 4th time this season at Nissan Stadium to get to 4-7, 17-10? Any last words?
It's just good to be back in the win column. I know that has to be a deep breath for the Titans locker room. I'm sure there was a weight on their shoulders coming into today and really a lot of pressure. You can't lose to a team like the Carolina Panthers. The Titans did it. Now you look forward. Not a lot of winnable games left on the schedule. They'll probably only be favored next week against the Colts. But you want to see this team continuing to grow. I want to see the offense continue to grow. Put 4 quarters together. I'm looking for 4 good quarters next week on offense. The rest, who knows what's going to happen.
Hey, shout out to the monsters up front for the Tennessee Titans. Again, I want to go through those stats. What did you say Jeff and Danico combined for? You had it written down.
Both of those guys combined for 9 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, and 3 quarterback hits. That's a hell of an outing for Danico Autry and Jeffrey Simmons.
And Arden Key, 1 sack on his 2 tackles, but the big forced fumble that turned into the Titans game-winning touchdown today. And also, I thought Rashad Weaver had one of his better games as of late as well. Overall, the defense did a great job. Ryan Stonehouse is a beast, outgaining everybody with his right leg there, punting for 370 yards today. But that'll be it for the tackle monsters, as somebody commented there. But appreciate everybody watching here. Titan Game Day Live. For all the home games, we'll be right back here at Acme's Rooftop for next Sunday against the Colts, presented by Spirited Hive and Ranch Water. They have game day specials for both of their brands here at Acme for all home games, Spirited Hive and Ranch Water. Also, shout out to all of our other great Titan Game Day Live partners: Adventure Science Center, Jarrett Fire, Chim Chimney, BetMGM, the Mint Gaming Hall, the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry, and X Golf Nashville. We'll check you later on. Buck Rising live tonight for A to Z Sports Primetime. We'll see you tomorrow. Appreciate it.